to a certain degree, man. I'm gonna keep it a band with you, and I know a lot of people are thinking it in their head, but they won't say it. But I'm gonna say some shit that's in my head sometimes. Look, man, who's about to say no to a Taylor Swift bag?
Axe. Press record and we're good. All right, welcome to Birwood Stands, Flwr Chyld. How do you feel, man? Just like in general.
You said what?
How do you feel?
You said how do I feel?
Yeah.
I feel good, man. Like I've pretty much been at peace for most of the lockdown. You know, something that I struggle. I think this past week would be officially a year of me being removed from college. So it's definitely been a transition, man. So like I want to say once the lockdown started, man, I was like, I need to do something because we really don't know how long this is going to last. And we still don't. So I was like, I need to do something to kind of like center myself, you know, that way my emotions aren't all over the place. Because before I was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna have a good day, I'm gonna have a bad day, whatever, you know, just roll with the punches. But man, I started meditating. I want to say the end of March. I've been doing it literally every other day for the last 3.5, 4 months, and it's allowed for me to like just be patient with myself, be patient with others, and just feel at ease with everything going on around me. You know, I feel comfortable in my space. You know, I knew I was gonna be at the crib a lot, so I was like, I need to like spice up my room a bit, buy more plants, just so I can feel as comfortable as possible. Being at home, you know, being limited to, you know, what you can do. But yeah, man, overall I feel good, man. I'm getting a lot of things done. Obviously, wrapping up my project, helping some other people like who you may know on their albums and stuff like that, man. So I feel good.
So to tell me about like the quarantine space and like music and kind of like mental health and kind of how that all interlines, because it's like shit, dog. We've been inside for a long fucking time, bro.
We have, and I'm glad you brought that up, man, because I've seen I saw a post one day that Papia Judah made on her story, and it just talked about being an indie artist and navigating through mental health, you know, a lack of financial stability, being an indie artist, and just trying to balance all of those things. And I was like, man, am I crazy for like, you know, because a lot of people are like, oh, the music comes first, the music comes first. And I'm like, bro, we have to eat. You know what I'm saying? This is how I take care of myself. And a lot of people don't really understand that. I'm very passionate about what I do. And the music is always going to come first. But to see that post, it put a lot into perspective for me. And it put me at ease and let me know, okay, I'm definitely not the only one feeling this way. And it's several other artists out here feeling that way. You know what I'm saying? So things like that have allowed me to definitely like navigate through this a lot easier. Obviously the meditation, you know, better eating habits, and just really and really indulging in things that I really enjoy, man. Like I've been binge watching shows and stuff like that. Like I think one of the first ones I started off with was High Fidelity, RIP, because they're discontinuing that one. And the other one was Snowfall. Snowfall is like the best show ever.
Snowfall looks dope. Snowfall looks dope.
Please tap in, man.
I have a lot of homies that's into Snowfall, and like the one. So okay, just to make sure we're talking about the right show, it's like a lot of like drug shit in there, right?
Yeah,
right. So
in the 80s.
Right. Okay. Hard. Now, this may be the wrong show, but it's like I always kind of got like that Empire vibe from like
absolutely
shit like that. Oh, okay, okay, word. Okay, okay.
It's crazy because like when I had always seen people talk about it here and there, but in the show artwork, how it's displayed on Hulu, it's weird. So I'm like, I don't know that I'd like this. I thought it would just be about some black dude in an impoverished community or whatever, trying
Yeah,
to stay
like
out of trouble. And that's kind of like what it is, but bro, it's
well done.
Yes, very well. Shout out R.I.P. John Singleton, man. He really
Oh
did.
man, for real.
So we got Snowfall, and I've been trying to like finish The Sopranos for the longest, man. It's
Oh,
such a
that's
long
fucking
watch.
deep.
It's such a long watch, man. But other than that, that's what I've been doing to kind of not even. I don't even want to say keep myself occupied. This is just shit that I enjoy doing. It's not even like a thing where, I'm looking for things to do to keep myself distracted. Like, no, I'm just adjusting to, still outside of just being on lockdown, I'm still making that adjustment from being, a year removed from college, man. Because a lot of people don't
talk about that a little bit, because it's like that's a struggle that I think a lot of like motherfuckers in our generation deal with, because it's like, yo, how do I even express myself when I'm in a lecture with like 100 other motherfuckers? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and if the shit's not for you, in fact, yes, Flower Child, what's your message to
on
the
college.
motherfuckers who are like, yeah, talk to it, get into it.
Okay, so you see this guy over here, that Igor poster. I have another Tyler poster right here. I love Tyler, the creator, to death, bro. But he said something in an interview where he was just like, I agreed with some points that he made. But obviously, I don't think he ever went to college. You know what I'm saying? So his perspective on it is going to be a little different. So he said something along the lines of, college is like bullshit, which I agree. You know what I'm saying? But I want to take a step further and say take a step back actually and say it's not all bullshit. I'm actually an advocate for college in the sense that you should go. Just go. I don't care if you finish, you just need to go. You know what I'm saying? That way, unless you have like, because he mentioned another point, and I agree with this. Like, if you know what the fuck you want to do and you're like, okay, I don't need to go to college because I'm just about to hop right into this shit. Cool. If you are like already popping in music, if you got a trade or something, like, you want to be a barber, obviously I think you have to go to cosmetology.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like, a 4-year program as far as I know. But yeah, man, I think everyone should go. Those who are unsure of what they want to do, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have an idea, or you just, if you know what you want to do, if you don't know what you want to do, I think you should go. Mainly, these are the two biggest things I learned from college, man. It teaches you how to get your shit together as far as responsibilities, because you're on your own.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You've been, groomed a certain way from when you were born all the way up until age 18, whenever you graduate high school, and then you're just kind of like thrown out into the world. And depending on the college that you go to, like I went to Georgia State University.
Word.
Bro, a lot of people don't know this. If you aren't familiar with Georgia State University, it's in downtown Atlanta. Like it's not a closed campus, it's an open campus. Yeah. So you can have motherfuckers randomly walk into your classroom. You know what I'm saying? Like we have people protest on campus. Like we would have like.
You ever get like the minister type nigga who's like,
yeah, we would have the radical Christians come on campus, bro. And I'm just like, that shit would never happen if it was a closed campus. Like we got to deal, like there were women who had to deal with like sexual assault from random people on the street. There were people who would get robbed, all that type of shit. Like, now granted, it wouldn't happen super often, you know what I'm saying? But the point is, it's an open campus in downtown Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? So, but besides that, man, like that's the point I was getting at there, is that school in particular, like taught me a lot of shit as far as responsibility and really kind of getting thrown out into the world. That's
because you're right in the thick of it when you're
you're in the
thick Atlanta, of it. Especially
you're right in the thick of it, man. Like if the charter buses stop running after a certain time, you got to walk from the library that closes at 2 a.m. back to your dorm. And the campus is so big, man, that walk might be, I don't know, anywhere from a half to a seventh of a mile. You know what I'm saying? It can get pretty nasty. But yeah, man, like it teaches you responsibility, different types of responsibilities, and how to manage your time, bro. That was the big
time management's a motherfucker, dog.
Because that's the number one skill you need for everything in life.
Yeah.
Literally everything. If you're a person who doesn't know how to manage their time well, and you've never been like that, and you still don't go to college, you're gonna struggle in life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Period.
dealing with bills, all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's definitely been interesting, man. Like being in school, it was a dope experience, man. Like it was a PWI, but there were still like more black people than white people.
Yeah.
I think they have like around 40% of the students are black. I want to say
doing well. That's
yeah,
doing
man.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really dope, man. I would say overall I had a great experience, mainly because of the people I met there. Like my manager, I met him there, and the people who are just involved in what I have going on, man. They all went to Georgia State.
That's awesome.
Like I don't like. I'm not like one of those people like, oh, fuck people from high school, but it's just like I did not keep up with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all the people who I've grown to like know and love went to Georgia State, and
that's what's useful about. That's another thing that's like I would say it's useful is that like you get to pick like your family for a little bit, and it's like that's what I most appreciate about it.
Yeah,
now,
bro, absolutely.
Let's get into, if you don't mind, let's get into this music
ahead.
shit. Let's get into this music shit, man. This is the meat and bones, the meat and potatoes. I'm excited. So I want to talk about Reflections a little bit. I want to throw it back a little bit.
Oh my god.
So let's talk about Reflections. Let's get into that. Because I had heard Iridescent, which is obviously some dope shit. And it's just like, yo, it's two different worlds almost, but it's like it still has that like Flwr Chyld sauce on it. So can you talk a little bit about your progression from like Reflections to Iridescent and like your new shit that you're working on?
Man, I didn't really know how to put it into terms like almost 3 years ago as far as Reflections, because I was that's when I was first starting off. I had went by like my regular name before I changed it to my alias now, which is
so you were Kevin Brown.
Yeah, just Kev Brown. That's all it was, man. Just something real simple. I had a feeling I was gonna end up changing it, you know, but I wasn't 100% sure. But Reflections, man, as far as that project goes, it was definitely I would say that was when I first started to get my feet wet, and I learned a lot of shit about not only myself but other people, working with other people. Again, time management, learning how to not take things personal, all of these things that you need to know as a developing artist, you know. And man, as far as the creative process went, I was just working with people who I fuck with, you know. I was always into reaching out to people who I didn't know personally, who I was a fan of their music. At that level, at that point, I was trying to keep it at a certain level, though. I was like, okay, I can't reach out to this person quite yet because they just might not take. And but from that point, during that time, I was just kind of like working with friends in Atlanta who I thought were dope. James Bamboo with Succulent. My manager.
Hold on, let me interrupt you, man. My first intro to you was Succulent, and I heard that shit, and like, it was a week where I was only smoking Blue Cookie, and so I had gotten mad into chopped and screw music, and I heard Succulent, and I was like, first of all, what is this silky ass fucking shit? Like, I had never heard anything like that before. And then to just like through like looking through your profile and everything, and to see your connection to James Bamboo, man, like Succulent's a hell of a first introduction to Flwr Chyld, I think. But I'm sorry, I digress. Continue.
No, you're good, man. You're good. That song, I wouldn't say that was the one that changed my life, but that was the one that just kind of gave me an intro to this shit, you know, on a grander scale, I should say.
To doing numbers.
Yeah, man, like that song, like, you know, outside of the other shit I did with the other artists on that EP, you know, shout out Devin Tracy as well, because
Max.
he's incredible. That was one of the artists who I reached out to outside of Atlanta. Shout out Yanni Mo, shout out Hadia as well, and my boy Alex, and Honey. Uh that one, man, like 2017, I made that beat, right, in my dorm room. Um and then I recorded a voice memo. I started writing to it. Um, and then I was like, you know, I was like, okay, you know, I know I wasn't super comfortable in my writing. But when I sent it to James, I think we had tried to collab earlier that year, like it was January 2017, but it didn't work out. Just a lapse in communication. But September of 2017 is when I like shot it to him. I was like, yo, like I'm working on a project, would love if you could get on this one or whatever. And I sent him the beat and he loved it. And then I sent him the voice memo. He was like, yo, like this shit is, he said, I love it even more now. So he was like, do you mind if I add this as an extra onto my project? I was like, sure, bro, go for it. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, like, you know, he drops a single, then Succulent is the next one. And then he calls me around that time when it drops. We're getting pretty good feedback. Um, and he was in contact with somebody at Colors, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, you know, they're deciding between this song, and another unreleased song." And I can't remember exactly how the story went, but I know whoever was playing it to give the final approval, somebody else who was around them like turned around and was like, "What is this?" And then that was like, okay, yeah, we need to get him over here to Berlin and like perform this shit.
That's
Um,
fucking crazy.
yeah, man. Yeah, that song, like, I want to say that was the one that kind of got, you know, I got my feet wet for sure. You know, I always like to use this analogy. Um, you know, music is like you're trying to find this one place, right? Then you find the door, you get your foot in the door, you know, it's dark as fuck. You're trying to find that light switch, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, once you find that light switch, you start walking around that bitch. You're like, okay, I'm here now. You know,
Right,
you start
yeah.
making yourself comfortable. You start, you know, and once you start making yourself comfortable, I feel like that's when you really start making a name for yourself and your brand. Succulent, I felt like I wasn't quite at the doorstep yet. But when I want to say after that, you know, I started working on Iridescent Love. And that's when I told my manager, I was like, man, fuck it. I'm just about to start reaching out to people who I'm a fan of. You know, that was that process was, you know, prepping me to not take shit personal. You know what I'm saying? Like Reflections kind of helped with it, but Iridescent Love was the one where, you know, my whole mindset is like, okay, I don't stress shit I can't control. And like I literally, yeah, I don't be taking
Yeah, and
shit.
it's like, yeah, you can't. It's so just on the not taking things personal. Was it more like you were reaching out to people and then it's like shit was falling apart, or was it like rejection? Like, talk a little bit about that.
I would say it was a combination of I wouldn't say falling apart so much. We'll get to that on this project. Uh I would say it was more so about me reaching out to fucking over 50 people and getting no's or no responses. And
Shit.
that's a lot to deal with as an artist because you're sending out your tracks to you get
Yeah,
I
you're
have a manager,
sensitive
but my
about your
manager
shit.
doesn't do this. You know what I'm saying? Bro, like, you know, a lot of people, a lot of managers try to act as like gatekeepers, which I understand. You know, you want to make sure that you prioritize what your artist wants to do. But me personally, I like artist to artist contact because it's the most genuine and we can have a conversation about what we want to do versus me hitting your manager and your manager just telling me no, you know?
That's something that I've noticed kind of being like just outside of the industry, is that it's like a lot of fucking managers that think they hold the keys to the kingdom out here and
Yeah,
are
that's not
like
the case.
are like shutting down like legitimate collabs that could like really change shit around here. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
bro. Yeah, man. And it's crazy you say that because flip side to that is the art music, you know what I'm saying? I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that really has really stood the test of time, man. And it's like, you know, after dealing with all those no's and no responses, I just got used to it, bro. Like I just got used to it. You like I
That's
just like after a while you become numb to some shit and you're like, this no means nothing in the grand scheme of things. Like they say no, this doesn't take away from my value and who I am as an artist because I as long as you're confident in what you're doing and you know your trajectory and you have like, you know, other things to back up um where where you're trending, you have nothing to worry about as an artist. I guess for whoever's watching that, just stay the course and really trust the process. That's been my biggest thing for the last couple years, actually. Um,
you're dropping some gems today, man. You're dropping
hey
some
man,
gems
I
today, man.
I would not have been having the same conversation a year ago, and it's like it's so much. I've grown so much as an artist because with my level of professionalism, how I speak about these things, because I know a lot more and I've experienced a lot more. And they always say experience is the best teacher. Always, you know
Facts.
what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah, man. But as far as Iridescent Love went, you know, a lot of those features were again people in Atlanta, but I want to say which ones weren't. So I had Mia Gladstone, James Tillman, and Shook Savage, who were the features that.
Man,
Um,
that was that EP had some helly features on it, bro. It's like
and
that lineup is like fuck. It's like that's I think that's what I appreciated most about Iridescent Love is that it's kind of like and considering because I had to like stalk your Twitter and shit, and considering like people who you've put
no,
out to
for
be
sure,
your
man.
influences, like the neo soul is there in the production, which is your end, but it's also there in the vocals, which is like, can you talk a little bit about that? Like how you work with other people to get your vision like fully realized?
That's a great question. So anytime I'm reaching out to an artist, I don't try to go so much so to people like who make exactly what I make. Well, first of all, I feel like there's no one who makes what I make. I feel like each artist has their own individual sauce. Um, I what I've tried to do in creating a lane for myself is try to meet somewhere in the middle between my sound and what the other artist's sound is. So like, you know, Mia Gladstone, I can't even put a label on her music. I hate to do that in general, but obviously like we have some similarities in our sounds. Um it's I think it's about even. We have some differences, but we also have some similarities in our sound. Um
I
but
mean, when I listen to, I mean, the intro track on that, it's like yin and yang kind of working
bro,
together, and it's like,
yeah, and that's what I tried to do, man. It's like I had heard Mia's music. Backstory to that, how I met Mia. I had never met Mia before. Before we even made that track, I didn't meet her until after that project was out, actually. But I I reached out to her because we both opened for Eluj on his tour run, and I was just curious to see who else was opening for him because I'm a nerd and I just like to discover new artists.
word.
And yeah, man, she was like super receptive to it. Like I just reached out to her, like, and bro, before I even like, you know, before I even hit her email, she was just on some shit like, yo, like y'all need to go check this man out, you know,
Word.
dope. So off rip, I was like, damn, she's showing love already. I was like, shit, I had already planned on like I needed an intro. Like that was the very last track I made for Iridescent Love. And I was like, okay, you know, I feel like she can, you know, I was working on this loop, man. I couldn't really find any chords for it, which is kind of rare because I have like my go-to sauce and then I like to try to switch it up sometimes. But Alex Hasselman, that's like my brother. He's an incredibly talented
Shout
guitarist.
out Alex Hassel Music. Facts.
Yeah, man, he's crazy. So I came up with all the chord progressions on the project, right? Except for the intro, we just went back and forth on each chord. Like literally every chord we went back and forth on, and that was like one of the best collaborative experiences I've ever had. And the bridge on that, I was like, okay, yeah, bro, I think we got something here. And I sent it to Mia, and she was like, yo, this is some of the craziest shit I've ever heard. I was like, I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I was just trying to make something that I had never felt before and never heard before. And that's always my goal. I'm trying to create something new. You know what I'm saying? And that's really how that came together, man. She just artist. I just kind of, like I said, meet them halfway in the middle, and she did her thing, bro. Like
she did her fucking thing.
Went crazy on that shit. Yeah, bro. And then Shook Savage, that one came together pretty nicely. It's crazy, man, because that beat wasn't the original beat for that song. I had made something else, bro, and it was like, I want to say like 3 beats slower. And it was like super funky. But I was listening to some other shit on SoundCloud. I was like, nah, I'm inspired. I'm getting inspired by this. So maybe I should like go a different direction. So basically, bro, that was the first time I actually like remixed my own shit, if that makes any sense.
Wow, yeah.
Y'all would have never known that had I not told y'all, man. But it's like,
that's crazy.
I created around her vocals that she had already recorded to the last song, and I was like, okay, like I'm fucking with this. That's how that came together. And man, last but not least, man, my good friend James Tillman, bro.
Tillman is talented,
bro. He helped me kind of like, he helped me in so many ways, and that man, I can't even put it into words like how grateful I am for him, because Love to You like really changed my life.
Love to You, man.
That song changed my life, and I got a lot of recognition from that song. He was somebody I started listening to, man, I want to say a year and a half before that, like a year before. I was just a fan. I was like, the Silk Noise Reflex album, that's one of my favorite albums ever, by the way. And I was like, this is insane how this album is kind of like, I don't like to use the term underground, but it's not mainstream, obviously. I feel like that's definitely like an indie classic for sure. Yeah. And yeah, man, I was like, man, fuck it. Like I had this beat, I had been sending it out to so many people, and that was when I was like, I started to get a little discouraged. I was like, maybe this doesn't need to be on the project, you know what I'm saying? But I felt like, that beat was special, and people were just kind of like saying no to it. I was like, damn, oh well, I just got to keep trying, I was like, let me just reach out to James Tillman.
And you fucking,
and man, like when he responded, my mind, when he responded, my mind was blown, because I was like, I had to like do a double take. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this man actually responded. I was like, dope. Okay, cool. And he was very responsive, man. Like his communication was on point. That's something I've dealt with a few artists, like where it has not been the most enjoyable experience, but he was like on top of his shit. He wanted to have a conversation about it, like for the direction of the track. Bro, he was just so receptive to what I had to say, and he didn't try to sun me at the time, because a lot of artists, they'll try to do that shit, like, oh, you're at this level, so I can't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? He was just on some shit like, it's about the music. And bro, I wasn't on shit like Spotify. Like I was still legit on Spotify.
Yeah.
Like, I hadn't had any songs, I want to say, reach over 50,000 streams at the time. So that's when, when we started discussing that. And he's such a fucking nice guy, bro. One of the most genuine people I know. Like, but once the record came together, I added, shout out Tanya too, because he was on like 3 tracks on that project. He just bodied everything I gave to him. We added background vocals, and then that little outro section, I made that after the song was done. Yeah, man. Shout out James Tillman. Like
shout out James Tillman. Facts,
that's my guy right there. But so, yeah, that song was the one that blew the doors off of everything, because it kind of like, before the EP dropped, it wasn't doing as well as I expected it to. But when I went to New York and I linked with James in early June of 2019, he was like, bro, it's gonna be fine. Like, it'll pick up, just be patient. And it sure as hell did. As soon as I dropped that project, man, like that shit like got added to different playlists, like, and it helped the project overall, and yeah, bro, you know, here we are now, if it
Yeah,
like,
man.
yeah, bro,
It's like
shit's crazy.
it's crazy how much ass Iridescent Love has gotten me as a fucking EP. Oh my
Oh
god.
my God.
Because
Yo, shout out to you. That's not, I've heard that quite a few times, man.
man, it's one of those projects where it's like, you know what I'm saying, where it's like you're with a shawty and you're like, you know what I mean, I like different shit, you know what I'm saying? Like let me play a little Love to You real quick, or let me play a Feel the Breeze real quick. And then it's like
Right.
instantly a vibe, man. I love it.
Hey, man,
I want to
I'm
talk
happy for you.
thanks, man. Thanks, man. I want to talk about your influences a little bit, because I saw a tweet and I remember you listing D'Angelo, Erica. I believe Pharrell was on that list. And shout out to you for knowing. I mean, fuck me, I can't think of the name of it. But the one record where it's like a picture of him and he's like a drawn picture of him, like a cartoon shit.
Oh yeah, in my mind, bro.
Oh man, oh my god, man.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. So talk to me about your influences and how you try to manifest them, or how you've accidentally manifested them, like in your music.
Bro, everything that I've listed, like, it's subconsciously like wired into my brain. I can't really explain it, man. It's kind of like how you retain information like over time. You just kind of like it just sticks over a while, over the course of time, bro. And it's like with music, man, it's so interesting because, like, I'm gonna probably go off on a tangent just a little bit.
Go off on a tangent,
like,
though, for sure.
It's like, I've taken long breaks from music, but you're still training your ear. Like, if you stop playing basketball, you're not training. So you lose muscle memory, you're not as good. Some people don't come back from injury as good as they were before because they're recovering. They have to, like, in that process, they have to relearn certain things, you know what I'm saying? Music isn't that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, like, playing instruments, it's very similar, like, because I play a couple different instruments, and if I don't play for a while, I get rusty. But as far as like overall production and arranging, bro, you never lose that touch. At least for me, bro. I don't know if I've just been blessed with that because, like, when I take these breaks, my ear's still getting trained because I'm always looking for new shit to listen to. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the break is intentional. Sometimes it's unintentional, depending on what's going on in my life. And I'm just like, damn, like, okay, I've been listening to all this shit, Then when I go back to the drawing board, start making beats again, I'm hearing all this shit that was subconsciously like programmed into my brain, and it's coming out in the music. And I think that's literally the coolest thing ever. I would like to like research the science of that one day. But yeah, man, that's literally how the music comes out. So like with me growing up and listening to Pharrell so much, listening to like, or Neptune's and Timbaland produced tracks, because my dad was a heavy Aaliyah fan. My dad was a heavy Genuine fan, heavy Missy fan, heavy Jay-Z fan.
So you got to hear legitimate fucking production growing up, like that. You got to
yeah. And bro, like, it's all that great music that I was put on to, because my dad has a crazy album collection, and we didn't have cable. So it was literally just music and movies. That's all it was. Music and movies all the time. So it's just like, and we would watch the same shit over and over again. So it's interesting to see how that kind of like
What,
coincided.
what was the movie? Because I went through the same experience. So I want to know. Let's compare movies for a second. What was your like go to? Like I ain't got shit to do. I'm gonna pop on this movie for like the 20th time. Like growing up, what was that for you?
Okay, I got two. One is not a movie though.
Word.
I'm trying to figure out if I want to be dramatic here. I'm gonna be dramatic. Give me 1 second. I have to
Yeah.
grab it because I have to put on real quick.
Go ahead.
All right, bro. This shit right here, bro. This shit right here.
Facts.
Look, I had to be dramatic about it, man, because this shit is the greatest shit ever.
Of all time. Of all time.
Literally.
What's your favorite skit?
Ooh. Damn.
Mine's got to be.
We can't mention any favorite skits without mentioning the very first episode.
What's that?
With Clayton Bixby.
Clayton, I was just about to say Clayton Bixby.
We can't mention any skits without that first, but I would say one of my other favorites would have to be Trading Spouses.
Oh my God. That shit. When it's like, like he says something like, can I fuck you through my pajama hole or something?
He was like, it's nuts, man. And what did she say? He was like, yeah, tonight we're having parsnips. And she was like, what the fuck is a parsnip? But yeah, bro, that and the player haters ball as well. That shit is just gold, man. That shit is gold.
Man. That shit was classic. Charlie Murphy, Donnell Rawlings, like
bro,
that shit was a classic.
Yes, the VD episode, like all that shit,
God.
bro.
Fucking pop copy. We could go on for days. We could go on for days.
Honestly, this is like I don't even think I have a favorite, but those are just a few that I can name. As far as movies go, man, I have two, and they're on completely different sides of the spectrum, bro. All right, Love Jones. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. The other one is Step Brothers. That was the other one I would watch all the fucking time. Me and my dad, it just never got old, and we would like say the lines out loud to the shit.
Yeah,
that was those were the movies that played a big part in my development and my.
That's hilarious. That's fucking hilarious.
Those were the ones for sure.
So I want to talk about getting back to the influences. Sorry about that. The tangent we went on.
Oh nah, bro, I'm all for it. I'm all
awesome.
For it.
I want to talk a little bit about D'Angelo for a second because like D'Angelo is one of my like Mount Rushmore artists. Like
with two albums. With three albums.
Okay, honestly, and here's my take, and I want to hear your response to this. I think Black Messiah is like his best shit.
Oh, you're gonna get some blowback for that one.
I'm gonna get some blowback, and I'm like, dog, Sugar Daddy, Betray My Heart, fucking what else is on that? Like I think
In Another Life.
In another life, nigga. Like, come on, like okay. Brown Sugar has. I'm sorry, too much about me. What's your favorite? What's your favorite D'Angelo album?
Bro. It's Voodoo. It is
Voodoo. I respect it.
It's Voodoo, man. I mean, you really can't. I have one of my homies. You would think that Voodoo is his favorite album because he probably listens to it more than Brown Sugar, but Brown Sugar is his favorite album from D'Angelo. So it's really it's just a taste thing, man. Me, I feel like I can listen to Voodoo when I'm in the shower, on a road trip, just going to the store. I feel like certain albums for me I play them when I'm in a certain space. You know what I'm saying? Like mentally or something. It may not be a bad space. It just might be how I'm feeling musically, you know? Yeah, bro. That's that's Voodoo is that one that I feel like I can play in whatever setting.
D'Angelo is that. He's that man.
Yeah,
Now, I want to talk about future Flwr Chyld. Like, so what have we got in store? And then after that, we're gonna play a little bit of a game, and then we'll send off. So I want to know what's in the future. I know you've been talking about a project coming up. I'm fucking excited for it because it's like especially with Aura Blue dropping, it's like,
bro,
yo, the progression is so fucking real that it's like it's insane. So talk to me a little bit about that, and if you can, I mean, I'd love to know like who you've been working with around it. So yeah, just get into that a little bit. Oh, I think you might have froze. Okay, hold
oh,
on. Oh, okay. You're good. You froze for a little bit. I'll just cut that part out. But yeah, anyways, where were we?
You were saying future Flwr Chyld.
Future Flwr Chyld, yeah. So future Flwr Chyld projects. Hopefully, who you're working with. I don't know how much you can say about it, but like, just get into it. Get into it.
Bro, it's crazy where I almost said like no to this interview just because of that question. But I was like, listen, I was like, nah, I gotta do this because I love doing this type of shit. Man, this project when is this coming out, first of all?
This is coming out probably like within a couple weeks, depending on how editing and other interviews go.
All right, bro.
So like I was gonna drop it before you drop your Lil Jon as like a
bro. Listen. I've been very silent, bro. I've been telling people like, y'all are gonna get this shit a lot sooner than you think. Like, bro, you might want to put this shit out within the next week.
Ooh, shit! I bet.
Hey, man, that's all I'm gonna say on that, man. I've been wrapping up some things. Like, literally, when I said that session last night was to wrap up, like, finishing touches on some things, bro. That's what it was for. So y'all are getting this. You know how some people say, "Oh, soon," and it's like a few months. Like, no, bro. Like, very, 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 very soon.
I can't tell you how fucking excited I am for this shit, bro.
Yeah, bro. And I'm not, damn. Do I want to name drop any features? No, I'm not even gonna do it. This one definitely has some people on there, bro, that I think you're gonna fuck with. Like, it's some people returning back to the project. I like to keep a few people in there that I've worked with before. But also like cycle in some new artists. So there's 1, 2, 3 new artists, 3 or 4. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, bro.
What's your headspace been like working around it with like quarantine and fucking like literally a new decade of civil rights like popping off right now? Like what's been your headspace, man?
Bruh, man. So we can start with Aura Blue and that release. I shot that cover like mid-February, right? Here it is. We're submitting like on March 3rd, like 3 weeks before the release. Where was it? March 6th, 3 weeks before the release, because it came out on the 27th. And I'm like, okay, like March 6th, we weren't talking about any of this shit going on. We knew China had a problem. That's all we knew.
Yeah.
It was like, shit, I hope the niggas figure it out, bro. But whatever they got going on over there, it ain't going to affect us. Wrong. Literally, my birthday was the following week, bro. And literally, bro, a few days after my birthday, so I want to say a week and a half from that time, bro, we're on lockdown. Like, shit is crazy. We're on fucking lockdown. And I was like, damn, is this gonna affect my release? Whatever, but my manager assured me, he was like, honestly, bro, if anything, this is gonna help it, with you know, and real quick, me saying that, I'm not being insensitive to whoever's like watching. Like, I'm very much aware of like this shit is fucked up and people are dying, and I'm praying for those families, you know.
Yeah,
But
rest in peace to anybody who's
like absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
sure.
But from an artist perspective, you know, you don't really see it wasn't really impacting the States like that. So, and we're desensitized to a lot of shit that happens overseas, you know, because we're here and we're comfortable, you know.
Facts.
But during that time, I was like, okay, like it's not hitting us hard, but we're on lockdown now. Like, how is this gonna affect the release? He was like, bro, people are at home, you know. If anything, this should help it. And I think it did. To be quite honest, man, it helped it out quite a bit. That was Aura Blue has definitely kind of like helped keep my spirits up to see how like it's been affecting people and people are fucking with it. People are still reposting it like what 3.5 months later, and that's great because you know I like to see that you know the retention is there from the record because I only want to make sure that I'm dropping timeless music that people can resonate with and they can feel something when
100%.
they listen to it. But yeah, man, is so that part of it, there's that part of it. As far as the lockdown was concerned, music wise, uh, man, as far as like the resurgence of like, we can't, what do we call it? This shit ain't nowhere near what it was in the. Oh my god, I'm sorry about that.
You're straight. You're straight.
I have my phone on do not disturb too, bro. Damn. Anyway, yeah, bro. To see all of what's been happening, bro, it's been like information overload for me personally. Um, like, bro, first of all, rest in peace to Breonna Taylor. Rest in
Facts.
peace to Ahmaud Arbery, which happened
Facts.
in fucking Georgia, in South Georgia. Rest in peace to, you know,
George
George Floyd.
Floyd. Facts.
Um,
Elijah McClain.
Elijah
Facts.
McClain. Man, like it's
Too many to name. God
too
damn.
many to name, and it's sad, bro. And I think you know somebody mentioned something to me. They were like, "Bro, we're fighting a pandemic in a pandemic," and that shit like really put a lot into perspective for me, man. And, you know, I think a lot of people were numb to the Ahmaud Arbery killing. We were like, "Damn, another one." You know what I'm saying? But once George Floyd happened, man, I think niggas were like, "You know what? Nah," because we're of age now. We have a voice, you know, so we're gonna use that shit. And if you don't listen, we're gonna fuck some shit up about it too, you know. And I had to have quite a few conversations with people about that. Like, yo, like people don't listen until you start fucking shit up, you know. And we clearly we got results fairly
Yeah, and
quickly.
it's like interesting because like the dialogue, it was like niggas saying, "Oh, they're like woo 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 woo," and it's like, dog, nigga, we stood on the sideline, we let dogs bite our ass like a bunch of years ago. We're not our ancestors, bro. We'll fuck your shit up. And so I think like when we got that message across, it was like, all right, let's start renaming some movies, nigga. Like we
facts, bro. And it's like it's been. I hate that all this has to come as a result of Black Death. You know, this that shouldn't even be the case. But I do have to say, like, you know, I am glad to see this many people come together and people like, you know, there's been some performative activism, but the flip side to that is that people have been posting consistently. This is like now a lifestyle at this point to talk about, you know, how people mistreat Black women, you know, to talk about how Black people just get treated unfairly overall, man. And
across the board,
yeah, bro. And you know, I'm not about to shout out any allies. I mean, you doing what the fuck you're supposed to do. I'm sorry. So if you're white and you're watching this, hey, keep doing what you're doing. Facts. I can't applaud you for it. You know,
consider reparations.
The right thing.
Yeah,
right. The right thing. You're supposed to do the right thing. You know, so yeah, man. So as far as like music, activism, What else? In a pandemic, I completely forgot about that. It's been interesting, but I've been holding it down, man. Overall, like it's been a very odd, rewarding, painful, yet joyous fucking 4 months. I don't like it's all of those things together, man. And
Yeah,
obviously each person, view of it is different. But when you can't see your friends for however long, man, or you can't see like your loved ones for however long because you don't want to put people at risk, you have to start thinking about all of these things and like what's important to you, what's not
absolutely.
important to you. Yeah, man. And I feel like personally, right now, I want to make sure that I put out music that people can truly resonate with. I'll tell you this project is really introspective. It's not vibey. Like it's vibey, but it's like vibey meets introspective. And that's what I want to that's the message I wanted to convey, especially like, with my transition coming out of college, man. I'm in a much, much, much better mental state than I was this time last year. Like I was
That's
fucking
awesome.
super depressed, man. So it's just like, I'm grateful to be where I'm at, mentally, as a musician, all that stuff, bro.
Awesome. Well, to end on, first of all, thank you for speaking on issues. As an artist, you don't have to do that, and it's like some shit that some some goofy motherfuckers don't like to do. But
And
whether
it's crazy you say that because I feel like, this is my last point because I knew this was gonna come up and I've been wanting to talk about it.
please get your thoughts out, man.
Yeah, man. You know, I I want to urge people to not idolize people they're inspired by. It's one thing to like admire somebody, but admiration and idolization are two different things. You know what I'm saying? Like they have very similar definitions, but they're definitely two different things. When you idolize someone, you can become obsessed with them. You know, don't look to these celebrities and these other people for the fucking answer and with problems like this because they're human. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying give them a pass or anything, but don't look to these niggas for the answers. We have the resources that we need amongst ourselves. Again, they're human and they don't know more shit just because they're a celebrity. I
Talk
promise
that
you.
shit.
They
Talk
just
that
got more
shit.
money. They just got more money, man. That's really the only difference. They're in a different tax bracket, man. Don't look to these niggas to save you, um, because yeah, you can't look to these celebrities for the answers and to figure out these problems.
Facts.
Um, should they be called out to a certain degree? Yeah, but at the same time, man, like we see with these GoFundMe links, man, we taking care of ourselves. Like,
It's
we see,
really, it's crazy. It's like people are coming together in community in ways that are like mind blowing.
bro, a lot of people with money are their money, you know. Um, like I said, don't look to them niggas for the answers. Stop idolizing these niggas. Stop putting them on this fucking crazy ass stool. Because they gotta eat, shit, sleep, and breathe the same way that we do. Um, you know, hold them accountable for sure. Like when Virgil said that dumbass shit, niggas was on his head.
Yeah,
Oh,
facts.
we if
Yeah.
we're like be on niggas head like that, like if you see some bullshit, call it out, man. Now's the time to do it. And continue to do it. We don't want any performative activism.
2020 is the
It's
year of the
not a
coon
trend.
call out, bro. It's the year of the coon call out for real.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Um, but yeah, man.
Tight. So to in closing, I wanted to play a game where I give you some scenarios of some collaborations, right?
Mm,
And I'm just throw them out there, and whatever your response is what your response is. All right.
okay, all right.
All right, bro. It's a rainy Georgia night, right? You're in the whip. You're minding your own business. Kesha DMs you, and she's like, "Yo, I want you to help me make my comeback, but on a neo soul vibe. So Kesha is going from that bullshit to like neo soul vibes. Are you helping Kesha with her return to music?
Yes, because I'm confident that I can bring some shit out of any artist that they may not have been able to bring out of themselves.
Real nigga shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, I'm not afraid of any color, bro.
Yeah. Oh shit. All right. We back in action. All right. So I'm gonna lead with a different person this time. I just gotta think. I just want to think of like, oh, word. Well, no, I think you kind of answered eloquently. Is that like you can work with any artist. So even if like a Taylor Swift kind of vibe came and was like, yo, let's work.
Nah. To a certain degree, man, I'm gonna keep it a band with you, and I know a lot of people are thinking it in their head, but they won't say it. But I'm gonna say some shit that's in my head sometimes. Look, man, who's about to say no to a Taylor Swift bag?
Facts. Ultimately, that's an easy like platinum record that you have now.
Bro, that's a real nigga answer, bro. You can't like if somebody tried to like be politically correct about that, I'd be like, bro, you need to get your fucking money, bro. Like that Taylor Swift bag is going to set you up for the rest of your life, bro.
Facts. You'll be gravy off of one song.
Yeah, bro. And it's gonna be fire. I'm gonna make sure it's some shit niggas never heard before. Like that's what I'm gonna make sure of.
All right, man. Thank you for joining me. Let the people know where to find you, and also let them know your Cash App. I'm gonna put it in the description below. Just, bro, you got to eat, fam. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Anything helps. I mean, shit, this wouldn't be any different from when you like put a donation in at a show. So, hey, man.
Facts.
Y'all can find me at Flwr Chyld. You spell it FLWRCHYLD _. And the Cash App is $Flwr Chyld. Yeah, man, that's
awesome,
it.
bro. Keep pushing. I'm so excited for this new record. And yeah, man, keep doing your thing, bro.
Bro, appreciate you for having me. This was a very fulfilling conversation. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for coming. You don't have to. You know what I'm saying? You got your little 500K streams. I see you, brother. You got your little 500K. You doing your thing. So no, man, I really do appreciate it.
Hey, man, no problem, man. You take care and you stay safe, bro.
Absolutely, bro. I'll see you.
All right, peace.
Peace.